-6 and a hook. The money line, Cleveland +228. Baltimore -6 and a hook. The over-under is 45.5. The Ravens, according to FPI, is a 66.8% chance of winning this football game. The Ravens have lost a leading 3 double-digit games this season, or tied for their most in a season in franchise history. Also in 1996 and 2016, they repeated the same thing. When you look at this football game, I do believe that the Ravens will win this game because the Cleveland Browns right now are still trying to find themselves. Lamar Jackson, outside of the fourth quarter in games, Max, you know he's been playing extremely well. He's got to stop the turnovers late in the fourth to give his team a real true chance of winning.
How important is this game to the Ravens seasons, Jay?
I think it's not only important to the Ravens season, as you talk about the AFC conference is a grind overall, right? But, I mean, I think it's important to Lamar Jackson. We were talking about a contract year. I know you're going to get paid what the market dictates you to get paid. But, I mean, there are a lot of games that this team should have won. Even last game, you talk about Giants when he threw that pick in the fourth, right? Like, so I think this is a must-win game for Lamar Jackson to kick off the season.
The Ravens could be undefeated, right? Did they have any losses? It was the Dolphins
Miami,
game,
the Bills,
and then 2 fourth quarter collapse. Really, it was bad decisions on key plays by Lamar Jackson, which is why they lost those games. And otherwise, they could be undefeated. And I was expecting him to be the MVP this year. He might still be. There's a long way to go, but he cannot be making those kind of decisions in the fourth quarter of those games.
No, he can't.
All right, second down.
2nd and 15.
Second down. Packers at Commanders.
We got a flag.
The Packers at the Commanders. The spread is Green Bay -4.5. The money line, Green Bay -220 and Washington +180. Over under is 41.5. FPI says the Packers' chances of winning is 68%. I think it should be a lot higher with the Commanders. Carson Wentz is not in the equation this week. It would have been even higher, I'm sure, if Carson Wentz was at the quarterback position. Here's what we have to look for, though. We have to see if they can get things turned around on the offensive side of the ball, especially on the vertical stretch game. The dink and dunk isn't working. Also, by the way, Matt LaFleur, you got 2 running backs. Run the damn football. Run the football. And I picked Green Bay to win this game.
Did Aaron Rodgers make the wrong decision, Jay, by staying in Green Bay?
No. There's something that I like, regardless, it went through a lot of chaos, that he said, you know what, even though they're going to be salary cap restricted to a degree because of the money they got, but staying in Green Bay and not deciding just to run somewhere else to go win another championship, doing it for the place that it seems like you were raised in your professional career, I got respect for that at the end of the day, Key. And look, whenever you lose a player like Devontae Adams, I said that at the beginning of the year, you're going to regress to a certain extent. But it still comes back to me, like even in that interview, he was saying, hey, you know, look, Brian Gutekunst, we have to find somebody. There's somebody else out there for us to help continue to extend the vertical game. And that's what this team needs on top of their defense, Key, to be the defense everybody actually, talked about it being at the beginning of the season.
I never felt like it was a mistake for him to stay. The only thing I'll say is this. I always looked at San Francisco. And if it's true that Shanahan plays Josh Allen and goes, okay, I need something more than Jimmy G, well, Josh Allen ain't growing on trees. But you know who can do everything Josh Allen can do and some? Basically is Aaron Rodgers, right? So, and since he's from the area,
think he can do everything.
Well,
Josh
it's
Allen
a different style.
Okay.
But the point is, no, he can't look for contact on a run like Josh Allen. But he can spin it. He has a great arm. It's pinpoint laser. He can move. He's incredible. The point is, he's that level quarterback, elite. And San Francisco, if they wanted that, I always thought that made sense. Him to San Francisco. Would have liked to see it. All right. Third down.
Chiefs at 49ers.
This is a big one. Chiefs at 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers just acquired Christian McCaffrey, and I'm going to give you some odds on that in a second. Spread says that Kansas City at -2. The money line says Kansas City -140, San Francisco +118. The over-under for Jay is 48 and the hook. FPI says the Chiefs have a 69.5% chance of winning this football game. The San Francisco 49ers made a decision to go out and acquire Christian McCaffrey. They gave up a haul to get him, but I'll also call that a relationship trade because of familiarity back from the Shanahans with the parents and the McCaffreys and the Denver Broncos. So to win it all, San Francisco 49ers went from plus 1,800 to plus 1,400. Okay? Then in terms of winning it all again, they went from plus 700 to minus plus 600 to win the conference. In the division, they went from plus 105 to minus 110. Odds on favorites right now, based on all that, to win the division.
Jay, I've never
And
heard.
I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs still because I don't know if McCaffrey's even going to play in this game.
Right.
I mean, he might.
But in terms of the odd shifts, running back trades never affect the odds like that. And what that tells me, Jay, is he is not perceived as just a running back. He's perceived, in a different style, but like Debo in the sense that you can't really pin him down to a single position.
That plus 700 to that plus 700 to plus 600 to win the NFC conference looks like garbage right now. So it seemed like that those odds should be even better than that.
I mean, the Eagles are playing at a high level. Still, the Cowboys have a good defense. I mean, it's not the same as the AFC, but yeah.
I mean, you mentioned
Better
two
odds.
teams.
Yeah, I guess it just comes down to if you really trust Jimmy G. That's why, to me, this whole thing is the perfect experiment to watch in real time. Because some people, like Max, has been saying, like, he likes Jimmy G a lot. I've questioned Jimmy G in those big moments, right? So now that if you have the tools, you have the pieces, but I don't like just fine to help me win a Super Bowl.
Oh, no, I understand.
I want exceptional to win me Super Bowls.
He could screw something up for you.
Yeah, and that's why I say Aaron Rodgers on that team would have been incredible. But they don't have Aaron Rodgers, and Trey Lance is not going to be Josh Allen. I mean, like, if he is, that's an incredible story. Josh Allen becoming Josh Allen's an incredible story. Jalen Hurts becoming It doesn't always work out that way. Just because a guy has a lot of tools, he turns into this machine, right?
Yeah.
But so that's what they were looking for. They didn't get it. What they have now, though, you know what Jimmy G can do? He can hand the ball to the running back. He can get the ball out, read a defense quickly, get the ball out quickly, and now he's got, as Key said, multiple versatile weapons.
1,000%. I agree with that. But I look for it's like the regular season. I could care less about them winning games. It's going to come down to those moments where you need him to make the throw.
Yep.
You need him to make the throw. Can he be that dude?
Time will tell, but you know what? Now time will tell because we're going to expect him to be in some big games
That's
now
true.
after this trade.
Well, I know Patrick Mahomes can make the throw.
Oh.
I mean, even without Tyreek Hill, they still lead the league in points per game.
Yeah, no one's confusing Jimmy G with Patrick Mahomes, I hope. So, should teams still be afraid of the Chiefs?
I mean, to me, I would be afraid of the Chiefs as long as they have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy on the sideline.
Chiefs lost one game to the Bills.
Like, I think just the way they scheme, I think having a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes that we call the modern day Houdini on the field, I don't know how you wouldn't be intimidated.
They lost one game. They lost actually two games, but one game to the Bills that stood out a week ago. And all of a sudden, everybody's mind is changed on the Kansas City Chiefs.
By the way, not only did they only lose that game to the Bills recently, but
a week ago.
It was a winnable game. Like,
yes.
what was shocking about it was that Patrick Mahomes didn't come through in the end.
But this whole narrative all of a sudden has changed because they lost to the Bills. Like, should they go out and get another receiver?
Look at that.
What do they need? Oh, my God.
Look at that. So you know what's incredible about that list? Most touchdowns in the first 70 games of their career. Patrick Mahomes, 168. Dan Marino, 167. Aaron Rodgers, 134. What's incredible about that list is if you said, take the team and the context and the coaching and everything away, and just tell me the three dudes that you've ever seen that you were like, okay, this is my top three talent-wise. As passers, it may be those three for me. Patrick Mahomes, Dan Marino, Aaron Rodgers. Right? Like, Peyton Manning didn't have the same level arm strength. John Elway didn't have the same precision. If you're talking about arm strength, precision, everything, who's that? Those probably...
What you say about John Elway?
Didn't have the same precision as those guys. He had the arm strength, not the same precision.
Bad backs. You better stop.
You think John Elway was as precise as Marino back then?
Man, he was pull out a knife and do some cutting.
As Marino? If you had to say who was more precise between Marino and Elway, who would you say?
It was a different type of passing game that the Dolphins utilized.
But you think he was as precise?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay. That's not the at least that's not my perception. If I had to say, Marino was like a laser guided missile.
No, that number 7 in Denver. Yeah.
He caught one pass from him in the Pro Bowl, and
Well, he would.
Dude, I
mean,
played against him.
because
I
you know
caught
what it is?
several passes.
I think he has spent a lot of time dreaming about
That's what I was
what
about to
quarterbacks
say.
he would like to catch passes
I was about to say he caught a pass from him, and like a halo came, and he was like, "This is what it's like. This is what it's like."
Maybe he said that about me. Damn it.
Ooh, go ahead.
maybe.
Maybe,
Go ahead.
you know,
Go ahead.
I'm saying.
Cut back.
What'd he
Keith.
say? What'd he say?
Come on, man.
It's like, oh, what it's like